Hello everyone, this is Yogesh Brahmankar, Innovation Director at Innovation Cell, AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, New Delhi. Namaskar. Once again, welcome to the Innovation Podcast. Today, we have very experienced and dynamic entrepreneur with us, who is founder of BuildMyMart.com, Mr. Himanshu Parab. Welcome, Himanshu ji, for this podcast, and thank you for your time here for podcast for guiding our young innovators and entrepreneurs from schools as well as higher education. So, as we talk to Himanshu ji, my first question to you, Himanshu ji, is that what your early experiences in corporates and in the global technology world pushed you towards this decision of building your own enterprise?
Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you to AICD and the Innovation Cell for giving me the opportunity, and I'm glad to come and meet you. I'm always glad to talk about my prior experiences and how I've been and how I've reached here. I think it's been a good journey. We have noticed that along the way, there is a lot of things in technology that can be brought into real life and made it practical and applicable. And there are certain limitations when you're working in bigger corporates, wherein there are a lot of things and innovations that you can build for whatever reasons. I believe there are certain challenges which smaller entrepreneurs can easily address and make an immediate impact. I think those were the few things that actually pushed me towards starting my own journey to build something on my own. And what you have in terms of Build My Mart is an outcome of that.
And understanding your own journey as an entrepreneur, what do you think, what kind of habits and maybe the traits helped you to trade on this path successfully?
There are a few that have come along the way, but I think if I have to point to one, I think I would put into perseverance. You have to persevere. In entrepreneurship, unlike working in a job, you will face challenges day in day out, and it will persist for a long time. What I have noticed here in this journey is to be persistent. Go through it and be consistent in terms of a quality outcome every single day and over a period of time. What I have noticed in my case, it will give you the outcomes at the end of the day. So perseverance according to me is the top. Obviously, in my case, technology is going to be important. Technology today is evolving. It is very important to be on track of what's happening not only in India but across the world. So that is another thing that I, in this case, would recommend the younger generation if they want to move ahead in their journey. Apart from perseverance, I think understanding of what's happening around the world and today, and I'm sure Yogesh will agree that in our times when we were in college, getting that kind of education in such a speed was not there because technology had not evolved as much. But today, at a click of a button, whether it's in YouTube or any of the other channels, we are able to get access to that information today. So, my second suggestion, as I mentioned earlier, is understanding of technology and being able to implement it. I think is going to be paramount.
Wonderful. Perseverance is the key. Uh, and let's come to Build My Mart. If you can maybe tell us more about Build My Mart and what is the unique value proposition of Build My Mart you have built.
Okay, I'll go a few years back before I bring in this value proposition, if that makes sense. I've been in technology for a long time. I had worked on many of the e-commerce platforms in the world. Among the top five, I've worked on all top five e-commerce platforms in the world. What I had noticed when I was building those, using those platforms, I thought that there was a certain gap in those platforms that they were not able to suffice for the Indian market. If you look in the in the Indian market, particularly the Indian merchants, they are very value driven. They want value out of the money coming through, and Indians are very sharp in that aspect. You have to admit, right? So what we want to make sure is that we give a product that is tuned to specifically the Indian market and is able to derive more value compared to our competing products. Value could not only be in terms of money, obviously affordability is an important aspect, but in terms of performance, in terms of impact, in terms of customer experience, how can I elevate it? So value proposition is something that we constantly think about every single day as about how do we ensure we give the merchants a platform that will give a direct impact to his business and grow his business forward.
What is the key problem you're trying to solve in the market? So what I mean is, who is your target customer, who is the beneficiary of BuildMyMart, and what's the key problem of that beneficiary you are trying to solve or you're addressing.
Correct. I'll go a step back on that. Our vision has been by 2030 to serve 1 million merchants across India by 2030. That is our vision.
Small merchants.
Yes. When I say small merchants, I'm talking about small businesses. I'm talking about the craftsman who's working in a village, who's selling his products, or it could be somebody who's selling groceries in tier 3, or it could be somebody who is making artisan products, who could be making candles, who could be making clothings, or who could be selling plants. It could be any of these merchants in the tier 2, tier 3, or even villages in India. Today, they don't have access to the market. They have these great products that they can show, but they don't know how to bring it. They are today, as of today, they are limited to their community. They are limited to their network. But beyond that, they are not. And as most entrepreneurs, they aspire to take their craft across the country or even across the world. What we want to do is to be that bridge that will take them from their local community where they're already excelling, and why not take it all over the country. And that is what our vision is, and I see making an immediate impact there with the platform. So that is the reason why I went back to the vision and where we want to be. We want to make sure we are able to serve the small businesses in India. Our government has made this initiative of Make in India, right? But how do you take it forward? You have to make sure that businessman, or rather that small business, is able to sell his produce, his art, his craft across the country, get revenues. And that is what our vision is, and that is why we started with this entire thing.
And how that works? So there are e-commerce platforms, there are multinational e-commerce platform, there are Indian e-commerce platform we have, and
Right.
I think that is one of the way they have to sell.
Correct.
So how are you different, and what are you offering to them?
Fantastic. As I mentioned, we are razor sharp focused in terms of the value we give it to the merchants. So as of today, most of the merchants will give an annual subscription to the platform, which any merchant can come and build their store. What we have tried to differentiate of ourselves is in a few different areas as well. Apart from
So
having,
you are not an e-commerce platform aggregator.
we are an e-commerce platform. We are not a marketplace.
You are not a marketplace or aggregator.
We are not an aggregator. We are an e-commerce platform. For example, if somebody wants to sell his toys, clothing, he would be able to sell his products on his own domain, build his brand, and grow his business. And we are the bridge to that in terms of helping him do that.
Oh, so suppose I'm making something like this and I want to sell. So you will help me to build my own online store?
Yes, absolutely.
If you can elaborate.
Absolutely, I will do that. So the way we can go about it, let's say if you have a product, in this case you mentioned the pillow cover, right? If you have a pillow cover and if you want to sell that pillow cover, what do you need to do, right? You need to have a platform that can use it, but you need to build the store as well. Now we have made building the store so easy that any merchant can build it. But right now we have said you don't even have to build it. You give us the information of your products today, and we will do it for you. So what happens typically with our competitors is that when you're building the store, you have to give it to a developer to build the store. Today, that you don't have to.
Oh, that was coming to my mind actually, that I can hire a developer, or there are so many companies who can build website, and I can develop my own platform instead of going on e-commerce marketplace, and I can sell my products. So why should I come to you or to BuildMyMart?
Absolutely. That is what I call hitting the nail on the head, right? See what happens if, yes, you can do it. To answer your question, any merchant can build his own online store and can start selling. But there are some practical implications to that. The first is that when you start building it, you'll have to work on the requirements with the developer. You'll have to spend time identifying it. You'll have to give time to develop it. Most importantly, you have to identify testing, remove the bugs, and then keep on paying additional money every single time you add new features. There are many steps that will take you few months to deliver a really good engaging product. Can you do it? You can absolutely do it. But how about getting that done within a day?
Within a day?
Yes, this is the pillow that you just mentioned to me.
Wow.
If you give it to us, or even so we are giving you two options. Either you can do it by yourself because we have got all the help that you can do it, or you can give it to us and we will build the store for you within a day and you can start selling. So what does it help with? apart from speed, which merchants need today, the value proposition is speed. You can do it within a day. But more than that, we have around 80 to 90 features that you can use to build your platform. If you need to change the customer experience, if you need to change the visual experience, you can change it with the clicks of a button.
And these are plug and play features?
Yes, very good question. Yes, they are plug and play features. They are drag and drop,
Wow.
and you can completely change the user experience of your store in minutes. And as I mentioned, there are many features and capabilities. It's a hosted platform. Today, if you add to the example that you gave earlier, you'll have to pay money for hosting. In our case, you don't. We take care of the hosting part as well.
Wonderful. So I think this can be very interesting value proposition even for startups. What do you think today's startups, what they are lacking in terms of, because what we see is many times innovators in colleges, in higher education or in at the incubation centers, they come up with a very, very good idea, and many times they come up with a very good product, and then they face a lot of challenge in selling that product, or sometimes they say that they are facing challenge in marketing that particular product. So what do you see, how do you link BuildMyMart and this particular challenge which most of the our young entrepreneurs are facing?
So, Yogesh, you've been in the on the entrepreneurship journey and training for a long time, and as you said that for entrepreneurs there are a lot of challenges, right? What we tell many of the entrepreneurs is that you focus on your core product, on your core offerings, whereas the other aspects, as about building your online stores, how to run it, look into the logistics of it, look into the shipping, look into the payment, we will take care of that. So in this case, the merchant can focus on his core business, his idea, his ideation, his product, rather than looking on the ancillary issues with which you see with most entrepreneurs. They get bogged down into that. It could be building the product, testing the online store, adding new features. They're all at the click of the button, so they don't have to worry about that. All they need to do is that how do I hone my service, my product, make it better so that it appeals to the masses.
Wonderful. I'm getting a feel that if somebody is alone also, like say solopreneur also, I think with some platform like you handholding him, I think a solopreneur also can do sell things online with his own store, because shipping is taken care, payment gateway is already built in there in the portal and all that, right?
Very much. We have many solo entrepreneurs who are doing it. Many women who are working from home who are selling their products online, managing on their product or their services part, and the platform takes care of itself.
Do you have customers for your company from tier 2 and tier 3 city? Are
Absolutely.
you looking at that market?
We are. We want to expand in the tier 2 and the tier 3 markets, and yes, we do have. So it could be entrepreneurs who are selling, customized bags, or grocery chain, or grocery owners, or merchants who are selling their products. It could be anybody that can build a online store and start selling. Now, the most important thing I want to clarify here is that your offline business continues to grow. Nobody's stopping that.
Yes.
What this does is that it complements your existing offline business with your online business. So it is only an add-on which is adding more revenues to your existing business. And today, as we know, if we need shoes, if we need to go clothing, we all Google. We find, where do we find? You have to make sure that you are available online. Your store is available. Let them see through your reviews. Let them see what testimonials you've got. Attract people, get their confidence, and they could come either to your store or they could buy it online. If they buy it online, your other expenditures are also reduced. But that's a separate discussion. What I'm trying to say is that what I always try to emphasize is that your online store can always complement your existing offline business as well.
Wonderful. So, Himanshuji, we deal with a lot of student entrepreneurs in higher education institutions, at incubation centers in our institutions, and even school students and teachers are also innovating nowadays, and we are supporting them. We are trying to handle them also, and sometimes we are trying to route the government funds also to support this product development. And many times we see that the students have multiple challenges when it comes to bringing that product to the market. What is your experience looking at young entrepreneurs? maybe student entrepreneurs or very young entrepreneurs you might have seen and came across, what mistakes they tend to do when they are trying to bring their products to market, and what mistakes they should avoid?
First of all, more than the mistakes, I'll tell you this: there's a tremendous talent pool sitting in there, uh, brimming with ideas. Which, now to answer your question, where we need to guide them, where people like you and me have who have gray hairs now, are able to guide them and show them the right direction. See what they lack. They have. I've met many entrepreneurs like you, uh, and some of them have, you know, amazing ideas. You know, I'm stunned. I was just at a meet a couple of days back where I met some AI entrepreneurs, and I was just awed by the kind of ideation that they have. What I think is, and I think the government of India is already doing, getting that is giving them a sense of direction,
Yes.
right? That guidance in terms of entrepreneurs. And actually, I will go even further. That I think the government is providing a lot of support and help. But
Yes.
oftentimes, what I've noticed is that the entrepreneurs are not aware of that, right?
So awareness is one big challenge.
Awareness is, I think, an area where even though the government is giving it, maybe they're not aware. So I think that is one area. Most entrepreneurs that I have seen, not all, but all, they have a great idea, they have a great product, but on the ancillary areas, what I mean by the supporting area, that could be a recruiting, that could be a finance, that could be operations. Oftentimes they struggle because that is not their core competence. So if there is something that those areas are addressed, let's say I'm talking about recruiting. If I'm in technology, I often need people to onboard. I have the opportunity to onboard people, right? But oftentimes to onboard the right person, it takes me a lot of time as an entrepreneur. So if those verticals are supported, I think the sky is the limit for the younger generation. And after 15-20 years, I mean, the sky is the limit.
Wonderful. And I think they are very passionate also.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, same energy is coming from all the sides, government, the ecosystem, stakeholders, and maybe people like you. Let us go back to your technology background, because if you look at maybe your enterprise which you have built is a product.
Correct.
So let us talk about the maybe the technology and the product, or the mindset behind the product, because we are supporting many techpreneurs. Many incubation centers are incubating a lot of technology ventures. Many times when we look at it from a layman perspective, it's a website for us.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's a platform for us. But when you mentioned first time, it's a product. So while building this kind of technology products, because it's a technology product, what is your suggestion to the young entrepreneurs who are trying to build technology platforms or B2B platform? Am I right? It's a B2B platform. So what kind of aspects they should take care when they are trying to build technology products? If you can maybe throw some light on this aspect.
Absolutely. And it's a great question. Oftentimes, what I've noticed, young as well as older businesses also often complicate things, make things too technological, because we are in awe of technology and we know the solution and we gravitate towards that. While building our product, which is BuildMyMart, what we did is that we instead of focusing more on features and capabilities, which we are already doing, we focus on the needs of our end consumer. So at the center of whatever we are doing today is the merchant and the buyer, the seller and the buyer. So the platform that we have built, every time any feature or capability comes, we first pass it to the seller test. How will it help the merchant? Will the merchant want this? Where I'm going with this entire discussion is that the technology has to gravitate around the customer's core business need. If we are able to sharply identify that and work towards it, then the technology, it doesn't matter what. So today, given where we are today, from a technology standpoint, we can achieve everything. But what we need to ensure is that, am I meeting the customer's need? Yes, there's some very basic questions you need to ask. The first question is that, does the customer want it?
Yes.
Okay. How is it going to derive him the value? Oftentimes you might give him an amazing technological solution, but if it doesn't feel that need is there, or if there are other areas that are hurting him more, then for him he wants those questions addressed first. So just to summarize, what I mean is that put your customer at the center and then build a technological solution that will sustain him for the next few years to come based on what you're doing. And the most important thing that we do as a company, being a product based company, we have made it a pledge that every quarter we bring in new innovations onto the product. So, for example, last quarter we bought something called as a page builder, and any customer who is non-technology based can design his own page by himself without any intervention from a developer. Next quarter we are bringing AI capabilities. So where I'm coming with is that it is the AI is not important. What problem am I addressing for the merchant is more critical than AI for me. So have a intense focus on the customer needs, not today but tomorrow. Understand where technology is evolving, and then amalgamate that. That's a solution.
I think that's the true principle of I think design thinking also. That
Okay.
customer is at the center, and at the same time you have to adopt the new technologies, new era technologies also.
Correct.
So let us come to the front end question. So now this is so tempting that if I am having a product, it might be a new startup, or I'm a merchant, a traditional product, and I'm getting something that I can showcase my products on my own online platform instead of going to a big marketplace and paying a huge commission. It's very tempting. But then, what other things me as an entrepreneur or any entrepreneur should also have to build that ecosystem? Because only taking a product picture and putting the photos, so I have a factory or I have a small manufacturing or assembly place, or I'm sourcing it from someone, and then I'm getting a online shop. But what are other aspects that I should be taking care while I'm pursuing this kind of, I will say, a business online plus offline, as you mentioned that you need to continue your offline. Suppose I'm having both or only one. What are other aspects that I should take care of and I should give attention to as an entrepreneur?
Correct. I'll highlight one of the key aspects that comes in most conversations, and that is not limited to only an online store. It is on offline store as well. The aspect that you and I have been talking so far is about building an online store, creating an online store, showcasing your products, right? Then there is a second aspect of which is the marketing part. Earlier we used to do call it as sales and marketing. Now we complement that with the digital marketing,
Digital.
right? And you mentioned about marketing aspect, and that is very critical. Bringing that awareness of your product is extremely important. So what we do is that we have an ecosystem of affiliate partners. After onboarding a merchant, we actually spend time educating the merchants on the importance of marketing, including digital marketing,
Oh.
and how to go about it. In addition to that, we connect them with merchants, with digital marketers, and then let them decide who they want to work with. We don't intervene. Our job is to ensure that we guide them on the importance, identify some. If they have somebody that they know from their network, even better. It's completely optional. It's completely, but we do recommend doing a digital marketing. And the most important, you also mentioned about marketplaces, right? See, there is a fundamental difference here. When you are working in marketplaces, you are selling in a marketplace which has, like you, probably 1,000 merchants just like you competing in that space, and oftentimes it is a fight between pricing for most merchants. When it is a fight for prices for a merchant or for a seller, they keep on losing their margins and profitability.
Yes.
But we think that there is a better way. And the better way here is build your brand. Today, all the brands that you know, that you see, have been built as brands, and their profitability is based on their branding. So what we recommend here is that if you have your own domain, if you have your own site, right, you will be able to brand and tell your customers how you are different, How do you
Yes.
differentiate of your competitors? And if you have a product, people will pay. I think we have hundreds and thousands of products today that charge a premium. The
Yes.
margins are very high because they are giving a quality product. If you have a quality product and if you're able to showcase those offerings and convince the customers, then the sky is the limit. So the point I'm trying to say is that I always emphasize is that it is not about the sell, it is about the brand. If you're able to build a brand that people trust, I think you are bound to grow.
So building a brand is, I think, very, very important for any entrepreneur. Maybe a student entrepreneur, or if you're growing as an entrepreneur even after graduating from a college, I think very, very important point. And then I'm coming to almost the last question of our discussion. So as I mentioned, we deal with a lot of students, student entrepreneurs. We encourage them, we enable them, also engage them in a lot of innovation initiatives. So it's a combination for me. This kind of podcasts are actually a combination of so energy on one side. So our viewers or those beneficiaries are the people with lots of energy and enthusiasm. That is students of this nation. And here is an experience sitting with me. So this is energy experience combination for me. So last question for you is, what is your final advice or suggestion to the students and student entrepreneurs uh, who is our actually target audience and to whom we are trying to support?
Sure. But before I say that, I just want to say the good work that AICT and you, Yogesh, are doing together. I mentioned this earlier. I mentioned that because, see, most, I mean, entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. We all know that, right?
Yes.
You need partners who will guide you.
Yes.
And with your innovation cell, with AICT, you are giving that support system. And trust me, young entrepreneurs appreciate that. That is extremely important, and that has to be told. So I think at the government level, whatever you're doing, it is a godsend for many entrepreneurs. Now, what will I suggest to the budding entrepreneurs is that what I have learned, right? You just cannot be good in one area. You might have a world class product, but you also have to learn the other aspects of running a business. That could be your finance, being aware. You don't need to be the top of the class in each of these areas, but you need to be enough to understand what it is, and wherever a delegation is required, you have to learn that. And above all, it is the importance of time. I think these are very fundamental and basic things,
Yes.
but as entrepreneurs, it's a learning experience for all the young students. A learning experience where I'm again bringing this together is that there is a lot of content that I know that the government also provides in terms of entrepreneurship. It's sitting there, right?
Yes.
I think many entrepreneurs need to understand where it is, use it, and use the ecosystem that the government is also providing them. It'll actually bring in success far more earlier than later. So that is what I can say.
Wonderful. It was so nice talking to you, and thanks for appreciating us. And we really give credit to our AICT leadership and the support of Ministry of Education, where we are able to maybe pursue couple of things jointly with our stakeholders and different ministries and promote innovation and entrepreneurship especially as a mindset in our academia. So, and thank you so much for coming down here and maybe guiding us and having this discussion with us. Thank you so much. Namaskar. So I really thank Mr. Himanshu for coming down here and having this discussion with us. And I'm sure everyone would love to hear more from us. And we will take a pause here. Thank you so much, and we'll be back with someone like Himanshu ji, a very dynamic entrepreneur or a design thinking professional or expert from the ecosystem again. So thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.
Namaskar. Thank you.